Okay, first Q&A. I find it hard to confidently describe myself, especially in writing. In life, I've been conditioned into needing to overtly prove myself, not just for my worth, but almost to force people to take me seriously or emphasize the importance. Basically, how do I express that I'm a boss with a young, bubbly personality? I don't want to be mean to not feel like a kid. I'm finding it rather difficult to find that balance. Okay. I don't think you have to be mean to have someone take you seriously. In fact, I think people tend to not like people who are mean. So, and I think you can definitely have a bubbly personality and be a boss. Being a boss has a little bit to do with your personality, but mostly it just has to do about being a boss. So what I would say to this person is, if you want people to take you seriously, you have to have a vision. So you got to call the ball on where you want to go. You're going to be the best accountant. You're going to be the best account manager. You're going to be the best salesperson. You're going to be the best engineer. You're going to be the most inclusive, best communicating person on whatever project you're on, all that kind of stuff. That's being a boss. Being a boss is having a vision for what you're going to do and doing it, and being a good, consistent communicator along the way and bringing people along for the ride and being in the mix to solve problems. If you do those things, you could be a mean asshole, or you could have a bubbly personality, and I actually think you would still be a boss and still be successful. So I wouldn't worry so much about, proving your importance or, trying to convince other people to take you seriously. I think the best thing you can do is just be a boss. Have a vision, do the thing, talk about the thing in a way that brings other people along for the ride, gives them credit, makes them feel included, shares wins, is blunt about when you lose so you can fix the problems. If you can do that, and you do that as a kid with the bubbliest personality, people will take you seriously. I don't think you have to worry about the balance. It's not about being nice or being mean. It's about achieving something. And being a leader is about striving for something and convincing and connecting people with you to go strive and achieve that thing. So maybe worry about that and set your mind about that versus worrying about your style or your personality or meanness versus niceness. Okay, second question. What if you love everyone you work with and the company you're at, but not your job? I'm trying to get into a different group at the company, but it's a struggle and they're keeping me in my current group. When do you stay to be a team player, and when do you be selfish and say, I'm gone? Okay. I think it's important to love your job, the actual job. It's like the TPS reports, the things you do on a day in, day out basis. You gotta love the thing. I think having a company that you love and a brand that you love and people who you like to work with and people who you feel connected with is super important, but that's all the gravy on top. You've got to feel challenged in the job. You got to love the job. You got to take the job to a new place. If you can't get to a job that you love at the company you love, you need to find a new job at some point in some other company that hopefully you will love just as much and maybe more. Doesn't have to happen instantaneously. You don't have to have a snit and walk out the door. But if you don't love your core job, you're just never going to get to the next job. You're not going to get to a new place. You're going to be cuddled up in warmth of the brand and the company you work for, or cuddled up in warmth and the niceness and the camaraderie of the people you work with. But really your core skill isn't evolving at all. Your core job isn't moving at all. So I think you're at the point where you need a change in job. I think you should be a really strong advocate for that. I also think you should take the blinders off and start to look at this role at other companies to find that job that's perfect for you. By opening up your aperture and looking at other places, I think what you'll find is you can be a better advocate for making the change in your current company, which, let's face it, would be ideal. And it also gives you a sense of like, would you be viable somewhere else? And maybe the grass is greener on the other side, and at least you'll know more to go do it. Okay, third question. I have a job interview for a CEO executive director role. I'm currently a CEO at a nonprofit. They want me to do a presentation about my first 90 days. What should I say to nail the last interview round? I also want to stand out, but also be reasonable. Ooh, I love this. This is fun. So congratulations for getting to the final round. What I would recommend that you do is make a very smart presentation. I think what you start with is, hey, here's all the advantages that this nonprofit has. Here's everything you have going for you. Then you also need to be direct and honest about here's all the challenges or the headwinds. We had a company meeting this week. That's exactly what I'm saying to Barstool. Here's what is behind us. Here's what's pushing us forward. And here's what's holding us back. I think one of the biggest things that I care about anyways when I'm hiring someone is like, are they realistic and reasonable? Like, do they actually see the opportunity and the problems? I don't like people who can't see opportunity, and I really don't like people who can't see problems. So I might start by being really direct with that and opening up with the big picture. Here's what's going for us. Here's what's holding us back. The second thing I would do is, here's my vision. I believe that this nonprofit can be blah, 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 blah. And maybe you want to make it kind of like a two-part vision of like, here's where I think we can get to short-term, and here's a long-term vision if you don't want to be unrealistic. And then the third thing you say is, here's what I would do to get there, right? The first X amount of time, maybe it's the first 30 days, you're listening, you're learning, you're talking to stakeholders, you're talking to donors, you're talking to the staff. The second 30 days, you're laying out blah, blah, blah plan to hit the vision. And the third, to hit the vision and also to solve the problems. And the third 30 days is about like implementing that, accelerating that, and moving it forward. The last thing I would share is, what are the milestones of success? So how would the people who are evaluating you know if you've solved the problems and achieved the vision? And I think if you lay out those things, doesn't have to be super pretty, doesn't have to have a lot of bells and whistles. Don't put too many pages on the slide or too many words on the slide. If you can lay that out, I think you will get the job. I hope you let us know. Also, if you have a question, we read the DMs all the time. We love work questions. So you can DM me at Erica on Instagram, or I think I'm Erica _ on Twitter, or you can DM Token CEO and we will get to your question. And you can always call in to Work Like a Girl, which is our call-in show. We do it every other week, pretty much.